Sexual orientation, polyamorous.
I used to identify as bisexual, now I identify as pansexual.
I'm completely and openly gay.
I'm transgender, and I only like both.
I like both male and females.
My sexual orientation is pansexual.
Bi.
Yes, my mom and dad were very acceptable. I don't know if my grandma was, but she still cares for me even if she's not accepted of it. She still accepts me and I'm still her favorite grandkid, so I think it worked out.
I think my friends pretty much knew before I, even came to terms with it. My dad is, whatever. He doesn't really care. My brothers think it's hysterical. But my mom, when I first came out, she's like, you can't be gay. You don't act gay. You can't like girls. I was like, okay, Mom, if you say so. I mean, how does a gay person act? How can you say, when you were little, you can't. When you were little, you acted straight. What? So, I ended up dating girls anyway, and eventually she totally accepted it, because at one point she asked, hey, Chelsea, do you have a boyfriend yet? I was like, no. Girlfriend? No. It was so great. I was so happy when she said that.
Well, actually, I originally came out as being gay, because I thought, what's the difference? I got a thing of Fruit Loops and a thing of Cheerios, and I poured out 3 bowls, one of Fruit Loops, one of Cheerios, and then one of them both mix. And I said, okay, Mom, this one's you, this one's Naomi, pointing at the Cheerios for my mom and the mix with Fruit Loop. This one's me, I'm a total fruit. Best coming out method is with breakfast food.
I think the funniest reaction I got was from my brother. We were sitting downstairs in the basement, and we were just talking and having a really good conversation, and all of a sudden I just felt, I was like, well, I think he needs to know because I love him so much, and I don't think that he'll be offended or anything. So I told him about it, and he came by me and gave me the greatest hug, and he said, you're the best sister ever. And I was like, really? I was like, that makes you love me more or something? I was so happy and delighted that I couldn't help but laugh at that reaction.
Someone tripped over a chair and hit his head, and then got back up and was like, what?
Just one guy, he was like, damn, you're transgender? I think I just turned bi. And I was like, I bet you did.
I came out in 9th grade at my conservative high school because I figured that kids that age would be mature enough just to accept it instead of crushing me with comments and bullying, and there was actually some physical fighting. Nothing too bad, but I started a GSA at my school, and some kids were very angry at us because of it, and we were threatened, our group. I think that life has been a little easier and a little harder in times. It's all depending on what's happening in my life. I mean, I came out after my mom had come out to be a lesbian. And then it was kind of tough because there was never any males around the house that I could talk to about it. So that was kind of difficult for me. But then I started going here, and I met my mentor, which he's gay, and I can talk to him about anything that I have questions about or anything that I need to. So that was an easy and fun part. So I'd have to say that it's been easy and difficult since I've come out. It's a lot easier to deal with. I don't have to worry about anybody picking on me for it. I don't have to worry about getting laughed at about it or anything. Or tortured. Right.
I've actually met a lot better people after I came out. A lot of people that really pushed me in the right direction to being the person I want to be, rather than the person that I tried to be. And I would say it's better. Definitely.
I think that it's it might be a little bit harder in my opinion, because people that I used to hang out with would say, oh, well, I don't think that we really know much about you anymore, because I would tell them, oh, well, I am pansexual, and I also do practice theistic Satanism, which they also find to be a bad thing and don't accept me for it. So I've lost friends because of it, but I've also gained people's friends and their trust and respect for having the courage to do something like that.
It's been, I suppose you could say it was a little bit harder because it was right after I came out that I lost a friend of mine. I don't know if it was necessarily because I did like girls and because I actually ended up telling her that I had a huge crush on her and had one since, I was in 4th grade. Yeah, because I was going through a really hard, rocky time during my life at that point, so I don't know if it was a mixture or one or the other, so. Otherwise, it's been, pretty coasty.
My cousin actually was interested in a guy, and then she found out that he was bisexual, and she had such a big problem with it. So I asked her, why? Why is it such a big deal that he's bisexual? And she's like, because he's greedy. And I'm like, well, what do you think about girls being bisexual? Oh, that's okay, that's fine. And I don't think that's fair, because it's just a gender. Like, why do we have to, like, why is it such a big deal to be a certain gender and have a certain sexual orientation? Like, it's not fair, because it puts people into a specific group, and then if you don't like that specific group, then they become an outcast.
I think that that's true. I think I've seen that myself, that there's this stereotype, there's a heterosexual point of view stereotype that 2 women together is like sexy, but 2 men together is wrong, and for some reason there's not, there's a distinction there that I don't know why there is.
They're absolutely right. I mean, I can see where they're coming from this, because 2 chicks holding hands isn't as big a deal, because even straight chicks, they're all huggy and, oh my god, I love you, all that jazz. But 2 guys, the idea of masculine is very separated. It's, you gotta be tough, you can't cry, you can't show any emotion other than being, a guy. So having 2 guys holding hands and, being all close to each other is awkward for people, because it's not their idea of masculine.
Oh yes, I have a big opinion on that. I came from a conservative school before I started here, and everybody there was saying that that they were literally saying that fags are bad, but lesbians are fine, because they can't get it through their mind that that we're equal. They just have to keep thinking that 2 guys kissing is disgusting when 2 girls kissing is hot and sexy.
They have to think about it's not just about sex. It's about love and relationships. It's just like a straight couple. It's nothing different at all. Everything should be treated equally.